So, if I could count how many times I've heard people tell me, I don't like to play games. I don't want to play games. I don't play games. I don't do that and all this kind of stuff. I just literally want to roll my eyes because and you can disagree, but we're all playing a game in one way, shape, or form. Life is a game. Being out here in these streets is a game. When you're in a relationship is a game. And most definitely, most certainly, 100% true, working as a Black woman is 1000% game. Anybody who tries to discount that, I invite you to, disagree with me, but we're in a full-on chess match out here, okay? And as Black women, this is particularly true. As Black women, the game that we play has to be even more strategic. And if we choose not to play the game, that is totally up to you. But why we are continually being caught off guard is because we are not playing the game. And when you learn how to play the game, not just in corporate America, but in life, period, you're less likely to be caught off guard in a way that puts you down and keeps you down. Okay. So today I want to talk about the four ways that we find ourselves caught off guard and how we can position ourselves to not be down for the count, to be prepped, positioned, and ready, and not let us take us out of the game. All right. So for those of you who are joining me for the first time, welcome to the Coffee No Cream podcast. My name is Erin Braxton, and I am the host of Coffee No Cream. Here on Coffee No Cream, we are unapologetically dedicated to Black women, and we share what I like to call Coffee No Cream moments, those things that happen to us Black women in business and in life just because we are Black. Now, I wanted to have this conversation just kind of piggybacking off of my conversation with corporate coach Bernie Fraser last week in episode 51. If you haven't watched it, it was a good episode. Check it out. I'll put it up here. I got a comment and it triggered memories and just common conversations that have come up repeatedly for me about not wanting to play games. I refuse to let myself be part of it. I just won't do it. But I want to challenge you before I get into four examples of how we can find our power instead of being caught off guard. I want to challenge you to look at it differently. People say they don't want to play games because they feel like if they're playing games, it is not productive. It is not serving them well. They feel like it's petty, it's silly, it's not mature, right? But that's not true. I think the bigger misconception, misunderstanding when you say you don't want to play games out here is that by not playing them, you're still not in the competition, right? Everything is competition. Life is full of game, all right? And I'm not saying that because I particularly like playing games, because I confront people. I like to meet them at face value. I take them at face value. I feel, or I used to feel like, well, I'm being honest, so they must be being honest. And this is the way I would handle it, so that's the way they're handling it. And when I really matured and learned that that is not the way the world works, and it's certainly not the way it works for a Black woman in business, it's just like my eyes have opened. I have been let down, hurt, upset, diminished, all of the things, because I just was walking around out here in La La Land, not playing to win. And people will say, well, I don't want to win. I just want to, that's fine. If you don't want to participate, sure, you're not participating, let you tell it, but you are participating. People will say, I don't like to be competitive. I don't like to compete. I call bullshit on that as well, because I feel like everything we do is a competition. Everything we do, when we go out for a job, it's a competition. When, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something. When we're dating, it's a competition. When we're vying for attention from anybody, just anything we're doing, it's a competition. We are in a game, and Black women, the game is twice as strategic, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as strategic and challenging for us, right? So today I want to talk about 4 ways that you might find yourself caught off guard, but how being caught off guard doesn't have to take you out of the game if you're prepped, positioned, and ready. All right? So let's talk about the most obvious one that we can talk about. All right? And this isn't necessarily with work, but obviously this can happen with work if you lose your job, if you're not, prepared for a layoff or something like that. When we're caught off guard because something financial happens to us. And this is the most basic, okay? Sure, you can lose your job, right? Or you can be hit with a bill. I just heard somebody tell me a story about they had paid off their car and the car was older. And, it was one of my viewers, actually. They had paid off their car. The car was older. The car was totaled, all right? Some kids hit them. The car was totaled, but they had no car note. But they had to take some money because the car was so old, the insurance company wasn't going to pay them completely for, a new car. So they had to take money to get a car, right? Now, for some people who are not prepped and positioned and ready, this can catch you off guard, right? But how things are. You know what it is. So those of you, and listen, I say this without judgment, who are not saving, who are not ready financially, who do not have money put aside, something like this could take you out. This can happen in many situations. You could get hit by a bill. Something can happen to you medically, okay? You could lose your job. Right? Anything, any number of things can happen, right? But if you're caught off guard and you're not prepared, then it can take you out, right? So that's the biggest one. I think that's pretty basic, right? Have your funds together, be working on that, right? And for this woman that I'm talking about who got hit and her car was totaled, and I tell her this, she's a very money serious person, very money serious. And I think we all need to become money serious people. I think it's very easy to not be money serious. I think it's very easy to say, well, I get paid again in 2 weeks. Or, I'm going to, do this in so much of such and such a time because, I'll get paid. And we're always looking for that paycheck, right? And then that's when the shit happens. That's when it's like, boom, something catches you off guard that might cost you more than your paycheck. Or maybe that paycheck isn't coming, right? We count our money before it's actually in our accounts, before we have it. We're caught off guard. We're fucked. Essentially, right? So Black women, now more than ever, we cannot be caught off guard without the money, right? And this person that I'm talking about, very money serious person, I don't know her extremely well. I'm getting to know her, but she had money to go get a car and do what she needed to do. Okay. And that's the situation that you want to be in if you're caught off guard. If somebody does lay you off, if something does happen to your job, if something does happen to your car, your transportation, your home, right? Anything could happen. Anything. So guys, I just wanted to stop right here for a second and ask you if you're getting anything out of this podcast and you are enjoying what you're hearing. I just want to ask you guys to please like, please share, please subscribe. The channel is growing and I'm so thankful for the support and the love and the feedback and the camaraderie. So definitely hit the like button, hit the bell, subscribe if you haven't. And let's get back to the episode. Now, this is one that has come up a lot. And this has come up a lot in the comments. This has come up a lot. But people out here playing the game and playing games that maybe you're not aware of, that we didn't know. Because again, like I said, a lot of us are not second, third generation corporate girlies. We are first generation corporate girlies. A lot of us are first generation entrepreneurs. We are doing our own thing. Our parents didn't do that. So we're learning more as we go along. We're not getting the learning from outside sources so much. Not only because we don't have family members who have paved the way for us, but also because people aren't so willing to give it to you. When you're a Black woman, a lot of times we just know what we need to do and we need to go out and get the information and do what we need to do. We're extremely creative. We're extremely strategic in how we do things. We have our way, and that way is very coveted, right? We're very smart women. So we've talked about this. We talked about this when I had Dr. Kwanzaa on. We've talked about this on another episode. I've heard it a lot in the comments. But when people steal from us, they steal our intellectual property. They take our work and they use it as their own, right? They present it as their own. They do this all the time, okay? And so often we don't get the credit for it, right? I hear a lot about this. I just was listening to a girl on TikTok talk about how she has a beauty brand and another very large beauty brand has stolen her brand name, has stolen her content strategy, the whole nine, right? And she is going after them, right? She is going after them because it can be proven. And the company is not interested in even addressing her attorneys. This is crazy. But we've seen this happen so many times. We see women out here, non-Black women, who are taking Black women's content and putting their faces and their likeness on it, turning it into their own, regurgitating what Black women say word for word. So we know this happens in the way that we present ourselves. We know that. Okay, we know that we're being copied and mimicked and not given the credit. This happens in the world. This also happens at work. And I've heard a lot of stories about this. And so when you're caught off guard and somebody does this, they are presenting your work as their own in the office or even in life, in culture, in social media or whatever. When you're caught off guard, this can really like stop you, slow you down, halt you. You're so angry, you're so frustrated, especially if like in the instance where the creator has this happen with a big beauty brand and you don't necessarily have the funds to go after these people like you could if you did, right? When this happens at work, this is very upsetting and very disheartening because we know the time and the attention that we put into things and we don't get the credit. So instead of letting this take you off guard, I'm going to say this again, and I've said this before. We are no longer in a position where we can sit back idly by and not be like, look at me, look at me. This is what I'm doing. This is the accomplishment that I've made. These are all of the things that I have done, right? And not only do you need to do that in work, but the world is truly changing. And you need to start itemizing what it is that you do, what your values are, what you bring to the table. And you need to talk about it a lot, often, okay? And you need to do this in the office. So if there's something that you're working on, if there's a project that you're working on, yeah, you need to be hush-hush about it until it's ready to be discussed and talked about. But you need to make it known that, hey, I worked on this. I did this. These are the results that I got when we did A, B, C, D, and so on. You need to be very vocal about that because trust and believe. You might think because of the way that they treat you that they're not really paying attention to you. They're not noticing you. They're not really like peeping what it is that you have to offer, what it is you bring to the table, but they are. They're watching you. They notice you. They see you. All right. So don't let anybody like walk up in there and be able to like get in there, steal your ideas, and take credit for your shit. You need to document and you need to self-promote what it is you do. Not just within the office, at the job, around, letting your superiors know, letting your colleagues know, making sure it's in emails and documented with your hard work on it, your name on it. You need to do that, but you also need to do it for yourself. I've said this before. Keep record of what it is you do. All right. And, you know, obviously I don't have a solution for the girl who I was talking about with the beauty brand. She's on it. She's working on it, you know, but that just is proof that shows you we are being watched. And I know you guys have seen those videos. I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you know that a lot of our content is being stolen, just like right from up under our noses, right? Because we're creative and so expressive and the ideas that flow from us and through us. Yeah, they didn't come up with that stuff. Okay. So you guys see it and you need to make sure that you're not caught off guard if and when somebody tries to steal your work, steal your intellectual property, take what's yours and put their name on it, say it's theirs. You need to be ready for that. Don't be caught off guard. Learn to self-promote. Learn to talk about what you're doing in the workplace. Learn to. If you work for yourself and you're working on special things, special projects, you have an idea, you know, don't be cheap. Trademark it. Go to the USTPO website. I think that's what it is. U.S. Trademark and Patent Office. Trademark. This here, trademarked, right? I'm trademarking it. Like, I can't tell you enough. Protect what is yours. Because people will just steal your shit, all right? You don't want to be caught off guard. Get your power back, okay? So you're going to get your power back by being prepared, all right? By self-promoting, all right? Next. A lot of us feel, and we know by now that maybe we shouldn't feel this way, but a lot of us feel when we don't get the promotion, when we're overlooked, we're not chosen, we're not elevated, we're not moved up, we're not pushed forward, that we're caught off guard. By now, I think, for those of you who watch me often, for those of you who are paying any attention at all to what's going on social media, to what's going on with other Black women, to what's going on in the world, particularly the United States, nobody should feel caught off guard when this happens to them. Although I do feel a lot of people are. They are shocked. They can't believe it. You know, when Bernie was on last week, we talked about being visible, making sure you're playing the game to win. All right. And that is definitely true. But a lot of times we have very much have tunnel vision when we're looking at the avenues to success, the avenues to that win. We think that the win is only right there. The win can't be over there or over there because all we can see is that right there. All right. So when you get your mind right around the avenues to success and where you can go and what you're not handcuffed to mentally, then the world just sort of, the world just opens up to you. Okay. Yes, you will likely be passed up for promotion, advancement, raise, opportunity in the workplace. If you have your own business, you will be passed up, overlooked, not used. I recently have a situation where I started to get into my feelings about it. And then I just was like, whatever. Just completely passed up, not even consulted to do a project from somebody that I'm in contact with that talked to me about working with them on a project. It happens all the time, right? I can't waste my time to care because I've got so much going on that is not my only thing I've got going. That's not my only, and that was never a thing I have going. You know, I have so much going on that even when I'm worried, concerned, anxious about things, I got enough going on, enough, what do you call it? What am I trying to say? I don't know. I have enough irons in the fire. That's what I was trying to say. Where, I don't have to be so concerned if that one thing didn't work out because I've got a thing here, I've got that, I've got that, I've got that. I've got all this stuff that I'm working on. And the same should go for you when it comes to your career. You should never be caught off guard when you didn't get a promotion at the job that you're at right now. The world doesn't work in a way where people are working somewhere for 20, 30 years and they just steadily climb up the ladder and they one day end up VP, SVP, EVP, C-suite. That isn't the way it goes anymore. You got to hop around, right? Like you might think you're going to be here for a long time, but like Bernie said last week, if it's not working, if they're not treating you well, you got to be ready to go over here and do something else or go over there and do your own thing, right? You should not be caught off guard. So you find your power in not just knowing that, but preparing and planning for that. That's where you find your power at. You're not going to find your power by waiting on somebody to give you something, on somebody to tell you that you are ready. And then when they say, oh, no, not yet, you're not ready, I'm going to give it to this person. And you're caught off guard like, oh, my God. And then you're emotionally a mess. And then you just can't even function. And then you get into this, am I good enough? Imposter syndrome kind of thing. And you just start to like spiral into that, right? You're constantly working on your own shit. And I've said this so many times. The power is with you. You don't give anybody else the power, right? So they might catch you off guard because you're surprised, like, well, damn, I thought that was mine. Okay, fine. It's not mine. But that's okay because I got this going on and I got this going on and I got this going on, right? So what do we say? You always need to be networking. You always need to be working on something of your own. You need to be knowing who you need to be talking to. Your resume needs to be updated and constantly. You need to have a running log of everything you've ever done, not just for your current position to move up within that organization, but for other opportunities that may come around. You should always be open to other opportunities. Always. Okay? So The power isn't given to you by somebody else. You find your power because you're ready, all right? You're not caught off guard in a way that you're down for the count. Make sense? All right. And I've got one more, okay? And we talked about this a little bit earlier. It's with the layoff thing, and that's definitely happening. Now, we know, I don't need to say it. We know, right? Layoffs are very possible for us right now. You should not be caught off guard with that. You should not be sitting around thinking about, oh my God, and not be building up your power to withstand that should that happen to you, right? They can reorg this thing. They can decide they're going to get rid of you. They can do whatever they want to do, right? And yes, it's going to throw you off, right? It's going to be a shock. It's going to throw you off, but it's not going to take you out because all of the while you've been working on your own thing. You've been doing what I talked about just a minute ago. You've been networking. You've been meeting with the people. You've been getting certifications. You've been doing what it is you need to do. So if they decide they don't want to deal with you anymore, they don't want you anymore, you're not down and out. You don't get thrown off. You're not like, I don't know what I'm going to do because you've built up your power by getting your finances together. You've built up your power through self-promotion, not just internally, but externally as well. You've built up your power with preparing and readying yourself. And you've built up your power by doing your own thing. You're never caught off guard. You already have your resume updated. You already have been in talks with people. You already have been doing your thing on LinkedIn. You've already been creating posts. You've been doing all of the things. You've got to find your power and not let what anybody can do to you affect you, right? We are playing a game. I will say it and I will continue to say it. And people can say, no, I don't play games. You're playing a game. And part of the game is to do and be prepared in the way that I've outlined. That's not all of them, but this is just kind of what came to me and spoke to me today to talk about. Part of the game is making sure that you have money because they can decide and come to you and tell you, I'm going to hit you with that. I'm going to hit you with that. Or it could be unexpected, right? You can lose the job. Part of playing the game is self-promoting. You're already ahead of it. They're trying to catch up and get to where you are, right? I remember when I was worried, my client decided to not use me for a particular part of their business that really got to me, right? And then I started to worry about, what if they figure out, what I'm doing and, they do it without me. And, my dad said something to me. He always says these little things. And he's like, they can probably figure out how to do it, but they got to catch you first. Do you see what I'm saying? And I was like, they do have to catch me. And you think about how long it took you to become who you are right now, to become you. I think about how long it took me to become Erin Braxton, to learn the skills that I have, not just the technical skills of what I do for a living, but the interpersonal skills, the life skills, all the lessons that I've learned, all the work that I've put in, right? And I know that I need to be figuring out how to utilize all that shit so I can win this game called life. People can say they're not playing. I'm playing. And like my dad said, you can dip your toe in on the side, or you can just get all the way in there. All right? You can play around on the side, and that's fine. Some people choose to walk the edge all their lives, right? Or you can get in, and you can get in there, and you can start to reach, hold, and grab some of the things that you really, really want. And it's scary. It's scary. It's intimidating. But, you get familiar, you get better, you get to be stronger once you've been in the game longer. You get skills, right? I'm learning how to play chess on Duolingo right now. I'm not great. I've always wanted to know. I feel like it's a great mental exercise for me to do. Do I expect to be a chess master right now? No, I don't. But the more I do it, I do. The longer I've been in business, the better I've gotten. The easier it's become, right? The more you do something, the easier it becomes. So you have to find your power. You have to find your power. You have to decide, right? You can't let these games and bullshit that's happening around you catch you off guard and snatch your power away from you. You've got to establish that and be working on that all the time so that you're ready. Yeah, you might be surprised. Some shit happens like, wow, I didn't expect that, but I prepared for it, right? It can't catch me off guard, not for too long, right? Nothing should be able to, there's pretty much nothing. I mean, aside from natural disasters and death and obviously those types of things, but yeah. So, guys, that's what I have for you today. I really, really, really want you to think about how you can be in this game and be in this game in a healthy way. I'm not talking about all this, mind fuckery and foolishness people are doing in the office and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how you can strategically navigate and work in a way that prepares you for just things that are going to come at you, because they're not going to stop coming just because you decide that you don't want to play. Yeah, shit's going to just be flying every which way, coming at you, right? And you've got to be prepared for it. So you can act like you don't want to play the game, and that's fine if you choose to exist in that way. But for a lot of you who are watching, I know from the comments, you are trying to get somewhere in your life. You're trying to figure some stuff out. And the more prepared you are, even if you don't really fully know what you're preparing yourself for, you're always going to need some money. You're going to always need some skills. You're always going to need to tell people about said skills. And you're going to need to navigate in this world so that you can utilize those skills in a way that can bring you the lifestyle and the life that you want. That's all game. And if you don't think it's game, then I don't know what to tell you. This one isn't for you. So guys, that's all I got today. Hope you got something out of it. And tell me, what way are you guys playing the game and making sure that you're prepared? Not playing the game in a healthy way is what I mean. How are you navigating so that you're always in a position of power? We can't be perfect all the time. Don't beat yourself up about it. Lord knows I have work to do as well, but this is just something that rang out to me, and I wanted to bring it to you guys today. So leave me messages in the comments, like, share, subscribe, all the things, and I will see you guys in the next episode.